Welcome to Keeping It Real.
This is Jack Morris, my brother.
Hey, everybody.
He's joining in today for a discussion on a bill that is trying to be passed called the Restrict Act. If you haven't heard about it, then I'm going to give you a quick rundown on it. Basically on what Tulsi Gabbard said. And if you don't know her, she ran for president. She didn't get elected, of course, but she is very wise. And here's what she has to say. People should pay really close attention to the Restrict Act because the Democrats, and Republicans who have introduced this legislation are trying to market it as something it is not. It does ban TikTok. It makes it illegal for Americans to use TikTok, but it does a whole lot more than that. It gives power, unfettered power, to unelected bureaucrats in the Commerce Department to tell us what social media apps we are or are not allowed to use. It gives them unfettered access to our data, our browsing histories, how we're using different apps on our phones. And it basically criminalizes the use of virtual private networks, VPNs.
I like those. I use them all the time.
They're very important. I believe it's a personal right to have them and use them. So there's very serious consequences in this bill for using a VPN. And they're doing all this in the name of national security. It's to help you. It's to save you.
They're not protecting us from nothing.
No, this sounds like a whole lot of
protecting themselves from us having free speech and calling things out like they really are. That's what they don't want.
It sounds like the Patriot Act on steroids. That's what many people are calling this, because this is the Patriot Act entering the digital world above and beyond what the Patriot Act already has access to.
Yeah, that was just their way of dipping their toes in the water with it. Now they're ready to go full force.
Yeah, this is so scary, and people need to know about it.
Wake up.
Yeah, we as the American people need to be smart enough to not fall into this damn trap again, where ultimately we have, again, people who took an oath to support and defend the Constitution, our civil liberties, our rights, but they're hell-bent on taking those rights away. And dangerously in this bill, the Restrict Act, not even allowing us to challenge their actions through a court system. That's what would happen with this bill. This is very serious. It threatens the very foundation of our democracy and our God-given rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. We cannot allow them to do this again.
They want to take away our civil rights and our Constitution, and they want us to be good little sheep and not say anything and just do what we're told.
And she ends saying, we have to hold these elected leaders. They work for the people. They work for us. We don't work
for them now unless we don't say something and challenge it.
We get to hire and we get to fire them. And we have to hold them accountable to their job. They can't just make up laws and rules and pass them. We have a right
out whenever it's time for elections in your cities, your states, or even our federal elections. Don't vote these sons of bitches in.
Well,
they're fucking crazy.
This is the thing about it is, to me, people have gotten so complacent, they don't even think about this stuff anymore. As long as they're comfortable.
They hear something about it, but they think, oh, well, it's not really nothing and it doesn't affect me. But then eventually one day it does, and then they realize that they should have been paying attention to it, but fuck, it's already too late. Should have done something sooner, you know?
That's the scary part. What Jack just said is what I'm worried about. People will not do something until it's absolutely dire straits. You're at the end of the rope.
Freedoms are not free. If you enjoy them, You need to stick up for them, and you need to speak up and say something about it.
Okay, so we continue the discussion on the Restrict Act, labeled as a TikTok ban, which, as Tulsi Gabbard put, it's not really. It's a TikTok ban in disguise to gain more power
in the door
over our digital environment.
What they're really interested in is everything that you do, not just what you do on TikTok. This is just a way of them opening the door to come in and trample on more of our freedoms and civil liberties like that article was talking about. And that's exactly what will happen out of this. You watch and you see.
It's like a magic trick. It's a TikTok ban. That's what they put up over here.
Yeah, but
what's over here?
You're looking over here, but
you don't see this hand over here. TikTok ban's right there. But the other hand, you don't see what it really is because you won't go read the bill. You're not going to look into the bill. You'll just listen to them on the TV, and they write the scripts for CBS, NBC, CNN, all them parrots.
They're a mouthpiece for the liberal left and, you know, a lot of the government.
I think the government is one unified.
Most TV and radio, most of it.
I don't look at right or left anymore. Lots of people still want to believe in the red.
I mean, they're just playing the American people until
they want you to believe there's two sides. They want you to believe in division. They want you to believe in racial inequality and gender inequality and Democrats and Republicans. They want you to always believe there's a side you got to be on and you got to fight with people.
Have you noticed how that's something that they always seem to constantly push, and it may go in cycles with those several different topics you mentioned, but it keeps kind of going around and around. Why do you think that is?
Because it's one of those things that they've done throughout these centuries. If you look, they take a topic and they build slowly on it until it's so embedded into the generations it's been taught to where it's hypnotized into them. They pass it on to their children come after them.
Programmed us to trust them for so long that most people think there's no way that the government or anybody in, you know, mainstream media would ever put out anything that's absolutely false or trying to, you know, misrepresent the facts.
Yeah.
Not have their best interest at heart. You know, they just.
And this is,
for a long time, I believe that. It's not true.
We're treading dangerous territory here, talking about this stuff, but we're going to do it and just see what happens. Maybe it'll make it out there. Maybe it'll get banned. I don't know.
Hopefully we don't end up in a cell with Andrew Tate.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. But
yeah, we're not in Romania, so
yeah. So the Restrict Act, we know, is not a ban TikTok bill. We're talking about jail sentences, fines,
restrict your freedom,
fines for American citizens. We're talking serious penalties for American citizens, and it has nothing to do with TikTok. So let's get into the juice. Okay,
TikTok's a whole nother discussion, but we won't get into that right now.
Okay, we're on the Restrict Act on Breitbart's page right now, and we are looking through what does this bill really have to do with? One thing named out in this is the federal government can unilaterally designate any nation as a foreign adversary and ban online services and products, even indirectly controlled by an entity in their jurisdiction, and penalize Americans who conduct virtually any sort of transaction with them.
Sounds pretty verbally ambiguous to me, so that way they can kind of leave the door open to interpret it however they want to and make you guilty.
What I have noticed looking through this is the verbatim in this is
very litigious,
wide open.
Very litigious, so that way they can define it however they want.
Right. It's not specific. It's not specific there's lots of room for interpretation, so they can interpret it how they need to.
Basically, if they want to find a way to arrest you, they're going to.
Okay, so penalties for violations of the Act could be as simple as using a VPN service to access a banned product like TikTok.
Damn. And I can't watch TikTok anymore?
But this is how severe it could be.
I don't like TikTok. I don't even watch it.
I don't give a shit about TikTok. Never been on it either. But this is not just covering TikTok. Again, they can select the foreign adversary or product you're using or social media or even video games are listed in this.
I think they want us to just be robots anymore, don't they? They want us all to the internet. They want us to all be programmed and just do exactly what they say.
Well, you could go that far. I know they would love robots. They would love us all to be so brainwashed that we would do anything.
Well, they're different class of human beings than we are. They, they're up here and everybody else is down here.
Okay, so that's the way they want it. This bill gives enormous new powers to the federal government to punish American citizens and regulate how they communicate on the internet, with civil penalties starting at $250,000 up to $1 million is what I saw, which we'll get to. Now that is freaking insane.
Don't forget about the jail sentence of up to 20 years too.
And the jail sentence of 20
But that's arbitrary. They could decide to give you 30 because you had bad behavior while you're in there. So
you want to read this part here? Go from this paragraph to that right there.
Okay.
Let them have it.
As to what counts as a transaction, the bill takes an impossibly broad approach, classifying it as any acquisition, importation, transfer, installation, dealing in, or use of any information and communications technology, product, or service, including ongoing activities such as managed services, data transmissions, software updates, repairs, or the provision of data hosting services, or a class of such transactions, as well as any other transaction, the structure of which is designed or intended to evade or circumvent the application of this act.
Wow. Keep going.
But the $250,000 fine is the least of the penalties, like we were saying a minute ago. American citizens found to be in violation of the act would also face potential criminal fine of up to $1 million, as well as a jail sentence of up to 20 years.
Okay, so I thought that was the bare minimum. They're saying that's the maximum.
They're saying that's the threshold, but there's ways they could work it up more than that. If they want to get you in jail bad enough, they can find a way to keep you there.
All this is lunacy, period. 20 years and $1 million fine. Okay. And then there's asset seizures.
Well, they've already been doing that for a long time.
It allows the feds to seize and access a laundry list of devices and services of American citizens.
If feds want to, they can come to pretty much anybody's house anytime, day or night, and arrest you and take shit, and they don't ever have to give anything back or give you a reason why. So, you ever see anything about anybody else having that happen to them? Maybe you don't see it all the time, or it gets kind of buried on the internet, but I've seen plenty of those videos, and let me tell you what, man, if somebody ever came to my house doing something like that, that's why I have guns.
This is what happens.
That was another false flag.
You stand against the government. You end up like David Koresh, Bill Cooper, lots of other people that I can...
They make an example out of you, paint you as a bad person, and put their narrative on it, and then there they go. They got a reason to come after you with, but they can, or
they're going to kill you, or they're going to kill you,
whatever they want to.
They're going to kill you. And if something like this,
able to dissident,
something like this Restrict Act gets passed, and they start coming after people to throw you in jail for 20 years and trying to fine you $250,000 to $1 million. I mean, it's going to take a large group of people either standing up to get this bill not to pass. If everybody, after it does pass, then we are going to have to unite about standing up for our rights.
These include hardware devices like phones, computers, access points to the internet, including cable and wireless, e-commerce technology and services, including any electronic techniques for accomplishing business transactions, a definition sufficiently broad to include every cryptocurrency and even quantum computing, post-quantum cryptography, advanced robotics, biotechnology. On top of all that, the bill grants the government immunity from public oversight, restricting Freedom of Information Act requests related to the enforcement of the bill.
So you cannot make a FOIA.
Going on.
You cannot. Our right as Americans is we can make a FOIA request on anything the government does, and they are supposed to be completely open.
They have to be accountable for their actions. This is the way we keep them accountable.
Supposed to be completely.
This is one of our freedoms that we have granted to us from the Constitution. Don't let this.
And this bill is implicitly stating they will not give you any FOIA request over anything they do against any individual in the United States of America. If they arrest somebody, they kill somebody.
If we can't keep our government accountable, then they're just going to walk all over us and do whatever the hell they want to. And you might as well just hand over your freedom and everything.
So basically, as I said,
they want you to eat bugs and be happy. That's what you want.
You'll own nothing and be happy. Like I was saying, it says here, the Restrict Act is using TikTok as a smokescreen for the largest expansion of executive power, basically, since President Bush was in office with the Patriot Act. And lots of people are calling this the Patriot Act on steroids for the digital world.
When the government wants to start changing laws, like I said, though, they start off with something small and just kind of dip their toe in the water and make that little ripple on the water to see what everybody's going to do and how they're going to react. And now that they kind of know that they got a favorable reaction that very many people ain't noticing or standing up to it, they think, oh, hell, let's just go full speed ahead and see if we can make this thing go through Congress. We'll just pass our law like we want to.
Yeah.
Well, they won't get us yet, and they'll let us do it.
This is another, scary thing that you're kind of bringing up is whatever they want to do with this bill after this bill passes, they don't have to get any permission to do whatever they want. They don't have to go through Congress. They don't have to.
They want to circumvent the Constitution.
There's no
freedom, guys.
Nobody has to make any decisions. It's like them making a decision, then it happens. They go execute whatever decision they make. No checks and balances. We're talking this is like
freedom ain't free. Like I said, stand up for your rights or you're going to lose.
Are we literally turning straight into China? This is one step closer.
Well, Biden's got 130 million in his account from China right now, and everybody on the news knows about it and's talking about it, but nobody's doing anything. Kind of weird, isn't it?
What about all the money between him and Ukraine and Hunter Biden and their involvement in Ukraine?
There's so many other things. This is a rabbit hole that's like a lot of other things, goes very, very deep, and we probably only know about some of it, really, to be honest. But you could find all of it if you look hard enough. It's there.
Yeah,
Biden's been a lobbyist for credit card companies for decades now, and that's how he's amassed his fortune back in the 70s and the 80s. His family.
I'll be honest with you.
Millions and millions.
I don't know much about Biden except for he's a liar, and he is very awkward and weird with children.
And he's the reason you have a variable interest rate mortgage or a credit card, too.
And he's got to be the most horrible representative of a president we've
ever had. It's just freaking creepy, man. Smelling little girls' hair and fondling women and children. These people are sick.
Well, yeah.
Like, literally, like, mentally deranged. Something's wrong with them. And I've noticed that about just the people that seem to follow him and like him and stuff too. It's like every time you see an interview of them, have you noticed how crazy their eyes are and how they're acting all nutty and stuff? It just seems like I'm in some of a damn horror movie.
I've gotten to the point now where I believe
Zombie land is real.
I almost believe that President Biden could not be active or doing anything that he does anymore if they didn't have him pumped up on some formula of Adderall and secret vitamins and
part of what he's doing could even
young children's blood. And
I mean, I'm not saying this is true or not, but I mean, I think they could even be he could be putting a little bit of this on as an act too. Either that or he's really in bad shape, like worse than we really know or think he is. Like he's probably got like, this much of his brain left and he's about to be a piece of mush.
Well, he got really bad for a bit about stuttering.
It was like that for a while too when she was in office trying to run for president and stuff. Remember, she was stuttering and having these weird seizures in public and stuff.
Yeah, and then you got these
people are possessed. I'm telling you, it's evil.
Some conspiracy theorists go as far as saying there's clones. I know a lot of people probably seen the different pictures of President Biden and how he's changed, and especially his earlobes changing and stuff like that. I'm not possessed. I'm not going there. But anyways, so what's Breitbart saying? It's saying that the U.S. can't beat China by becoming more like the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, that's what we're already becoming, though. He's made a backroom deal with China when he first got in office.
But that's
probably even before he got in office, like, hey, if I get in office.
That's basically what I mentioned.
Stuff together.
It's what I mentioned a while ago.
Destroy America. And
is this not just one step closer to being like communist China, where you're completely controlled? They're in every device. They're watching. They're listening. They're checking on
your Constitution, guys. We're supposed to be protected from a tyrannical government, yet we have one right now. What the hell? Just pay attention to what's going on and hopefully start caring and noticing some of this stuff and speak to other people about it and get involved in your communities or something locally and do something. I need to take my own medicine on that and do some more stuff myself.
Yeah, I mean, I say it a lot.
But it just infuriates me every time I see this.
I say it a lot too, but then I look for my fellow men and women, my brothers and sisters out there, and see nobody doing anything. I see complete complacency, and it kills my spirit.
The only way that unity wins is when you have solidarity and everybody's together to try to go against something like this and keep it from happening.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our freedom going up in smoke right now. It's about to vaporize and go right through our hands if we don't watch out.
Very well put. And I don't think you need to say much more than that. Here's one interesting thing I'll throw in because it's up here and we didn't mention it. Even in China, where they have a social credit score, they watch people, they have facial recognition cameras everywhere to monitor people.
We've already got the cameras to do it, and we're about to implement the same stuff.
They track people everywhere they go. What is it?
Credit score.
Okay, and if your social credit score drops, you're not allowed to do certain things. You're restricted from certain movements. You
might not be able to buy something today like you wanted to, or make a purchase you need to make.
It's insane. And during COVID lockdowns, they literally were bolting people into their houses.
If you're over on your carbon credits that they tell you you're allowed for the week or the month, they can even tell you can't drive your car to work. So if you lose your job, sorry.
I don't even want to get into the whole carbon issue because
that's what's coming with the social credit scores. That's what all that's going to be based on, and how you spend your money.
You're made out of carbon. Jack's made out of carbon.
That makes us evil automatically.
It's necessary. We breathe in oxygen. Carbon comes out. Trees, grass, all
it's a other relationship or survival here on this earth.
Plant life. It's evil. Plant life form is not pissed off that carbon's in there. It's very happy about that.
Well, and if we don't have any plants here, then we can't breathe. So
why are they?
where does any of this argument make any sense from our government? Can y'all not start to see through some of this bullshit?
Yeah, the carbon thing. That's a whole.
Please think about it.
That's another rabbit hole to go
I'm
down.
not saying anybody's not paying attention, but damn.
Okay, so we're talking about the Restrict Act, and of course we can get off on another subject. But here's another interesting thing. Even in China, where numerous apps are banned, VPN usage is not banned. It does not lead to imprisonment. So large numbers of Chinese citizens do use these VPNs to access popular apps and video games and get away with it.
I think the big fines are a way to kind of coax you into not doing it, scaring you not to do it, because they know they really can't stop it, and you can get away with it for now. But the thing is, when are they going to actually be able to?
If they say
really
you can't use a VPN,
now that you're using it, and then start dropping the hammer on people, and that's where people kind of get.
If in America they say you're not allowed to use a VPN, then VPN corporations are not going to be able to distribute the service to you.
But it's perfectly okay for somebody that, like a guy that wants to be trans and go put his weenie in a meat grinder so he can be a girl. That's okay.
Well, that's kind of off topic, but yes, that's perfectly fine if they want to do that. And if that makes them happy, then I'm happy for them.
I'm just making a ridiculous point about what kind of freedoms we're allowed to have now that are okay versus what they're saying we can't do.
It's turned into a clown world. The upside down world is here.
It is. It's inverted. It is. It's the opposite of what normal was 10, 15, 20 years ago. But it's been planned to be this way and going on and head in this direction for a long time, probably before we were born.
The Restriction Act. That you'll be seeing it in the news labeled as the TikTok ban. Okay? Look into the Restriction Act. It's not about TikTok.
Yeah, Breitbart's got a good article on this if y'all want to go check it out. That's where we got a lot of the information for this. Of course, we're not on a few sites too.
It's not like I'm a big Breitbart reader.
Some good stuff. They're
like that.
But fairly unbiased platform.
I mean, but look at some of the headlines here. Trending. Trump witch hunt. Biden crime family. Banking crisis. Ukraine.
Ocasio-Cortez, GOP implementing fascist takeover of our state houses.
Woke AI. I mean, so yeah, they got some pretty interesting topics on here that would be worth digging into, I would say. So the Restrict Act, just there you go. We're done. We've told you enough about this. It's a really, I mean, we're in like 30 minutes.
Just think about your future here in the country,
Yeah, but this is a 30-minute just glance over it. Another thing,
talk with this stuff.
Who's the guy
to your friend?
Who's the broadcaster that we listened to earlier?
Tucker Carlson.
Find Tucker Carlson.
He did a really good story
that he did on this.
I think yesterday or something.
He'll say what we did in 30 minutes. He'll say it in like 5 or 10 minutes.
He's got some details that we didn't really get the bullet point on.
He summarizes it quick and fast and tells you the truth about what it's really about.
Yeah, Tucker's does some good journalism. He's one of the few that's I still have some respect for.
And now that social media is so controlled, because we do know that the government's involved with Facebook, Instagram, and they used to be very involved with TikTok. So
I got a Twitter and a Facebook, but I think I'm about to nix all that stuff.
I'm just saying, social media for the most part, it's
going to be
controlled
in the future, so you might as well not have it. Really,
it's already been admitted to. It's controlled.
Everything you post and everything you read is arbitrary, and they control what you see or what you post. So I'm sure you guys.
The fact checkers.
A lot of social
fact checkers. What I have found out about fact checkers.
Fact checkers are fucking liars.
Most of the day are liars. they fact check truth. When they see the truth being spoken, you are fact checked. And then you might be put on a ban, you might be deleted because you spoke the truth. That's what fact checking is called. See what I say about the inverted world? Up is down, down is up. It's a clown world.
But it's the truth.
Yeah, and that's just another thing, a revelation to share with the people out there in the entertainment world.
Exactly.
So much love to you guys out there. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever way you're going to take it in. Look in the description below. I am not sponsored by anyone. This is my blood, sweat, and tears that I put into putting information out that's valuable for you people out there, to keep you informed, to keep you entertained.
Just trying to keep it real, right?
Just, yeah, in any way I can. So if you can be a supporter of this entertainment podcast, and now it's moving on to YouTube, then join in. Hit the subscribe link. Look in the.
If you like send me on here, tell him something in the comments, and maybe I'll come back in a week or two and be on another one.
Yeah, maybe he'll cut his hair.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Okay, but anyways, I just want to say I love all you guys out there, and I appreciate any support you give me. If you click on the support link, you can support for as low as $1 a month up to $10. It doesn't matter what you choose. I don't care. Any support is valuable to me, and I appreciate it. It's near and dear to my heart that anybody is willing to give monthly support. Most people just want to take stuff for free. They don't take into account that even stuff like this costs money to do it.
If you can't afford to give a buck, give a like, subscribe, and leave some comments and share it with somebody on the internet or
That matters.
And help us grow the show.
Yes, that helps.
Well, it's not my show. It's my
That helps
show.
too.
Still, help my brother out. Come on.
Yeah. And then one last thing. If you don't want to subscribe monthly, my Venmo and my PayPal are both linked below. You can go to them if you want to do a one-time tip. Tip me 50 cents, tip me 50,000. I don't care. Whatever you want to tip me.
If they tip you that much, I better get 10%, man.
If somebody is nice enough to do that, you get a cut. Okay, everybody. That's the end of this one. Until next time, you take care out there and keep it real. Later.
Later, guys.